I've joined with the two devices. That anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. So yeah, so I would want to firstly, welcome everyone. Good afternoon for today's session, and thank you for joining us today for an exciting webinar on the topic, which is expanding your reach and elevating your training business. Uh, Basically, going online and scaling up your business or e-learning business with the help of an LMS. I am Nitin, and your moderator for today. And we have a fantastic panel of experts with us. Let's get started with some quick introductions, and I'll introduce each of our speakers, welcome them, and then proceed with the questions for the day. Right. So, firstly, on our panel, I would like to introduce Mr. Pushkar Vaidya. He's a founder of Deva Pia Consulting. So, Pushkar, diverse operation and functional experience with the ITS industry and like leadership coaching and process optimization puts him in a unique position to share his insights about the LMS and their impact exceptionally. His insights into the world of business consulting and like management will undoubtedly prove us with a valuable perspective. So we would welcome you to the panel, Mr. Pushkar.
Thank you so much.
Um, Next to our panel, so expanding our a circle of experts, we welcome Professor Pankaj Kumar Mishra, Vice Chancellor at local university Saharanpur, UP. He is a distinguished academician, administrator, and innovator, and over 2 decades of experience in revolutionizing education. Dr. Pankaj expertise in analytical skill, education technology, and technology integration in truly, and his technology integration insights are truly commendable. So we are delighted to have you again on our panel, Mr. Pankaj.
Thank you so much, and I hope and looking forward for the great discussions from
Certainly,
Pushkar and Dr. Rao, right? Yeah, over to you.
certainly, certainly, yeah. And then, yeah, next on our distinguished list is Dr. K.S. Srinivas Rao. He's a former professor in decision science and LSCM and SOM at Jain University. And Dr. Rao has 30 years of academic experience, in which 2 years with the industry. His core competency and teaching, training, administration, research, and consultancy, having PhD in statistics. As academic qualification, worked as data analytics in ORG, and he's been a dean in Sankar Eye Care Hospital as well. Worked as director and dean to various B schools and made reforms to significant improvement. He also have experience in training programs, curriculum restructuring, strengthening institution, taught faculty development, quality audits, and industry. So we would welcome you, Mr. Srinivas, to the panel today.
Yeah, thank you very much. First of all, I hope that a wonderful discussion will happen. I can also
Yeah,
give some inputs to you. Thank you.
sure, certainly, sir. Yeah, definitely. So, since moving forward, we would quickly delve into the questions for today, and probably I would want to ask my first question to Mr. Pankaj. So, Mr. Pankaj, so since with your experience in marketing and reaching new learners, right, like within your university and with your experience over the years, so attracting new learners is essential for growth. So we all know that. So, what specific marketing tactics and online channels can trainers use to effectively promote the online courses and like reach a wider audience? So we would definitely want to know your insights and inputs on that.
Right. So, like marketing techniques and other things are very important. And some of the time, what happens, with the marketing, a very bad thing, a worse thing can be have a great celebrity, and some of the time, without marketing, a great thing and a great product could not be sold. Also, without any marketing and branding exercises. So marketing
True.
and branding are very important. But once we talk about the institutions and the processes, so I personally believe that education institutions should not be much about the concern about the marketing and all. whatever the healthy academic practices you are doing, that will be your automatic, branding and marketing. I'm not sure that how many of you have heard the video or seen the video, hoardings, boards of ISM, IISCs, IITs, nowhere, right? But again, you have seen that lakhs and lakhs students are not only studying in the quota, but also getting suicide that they are not getting good marks in the current examinations, right? So that kind of scenario should be made somewhere, and where my point of understanding is that as an academician, we should create that kind of tempo. Of course, it's a competitive age, and we the different institution, different universities are not a competitor of each other, but we are the complementer of each other, right? So while complementing each other's the healthy practices and all, or competing with each other, if you can take it that way as well, very important is what that you must have some healthy practices, and if you are doing some healthy practices, can you share it with that way? So I have seen that the LinkedIn is there, where it's a great marketing tool, and I'm not sure that if people are following me over there. Every day I have some positive thing, a good news, insightful delivery. I'm talking to some pupil, I'm delivering some lectures, so that kind of news is there. So this creates a kind of echo in the environment of the academicians, and creates a kind of hype about the institution, and it helps you in the perception building as well. So perception is very, very important, my dear friend,
True.
about the institution, right? And if we talk about like that, suppose you are able to cater, say, 40,000 student, 50,000 student, and you feel that no marketing exercise and branding exercise is required, this is again a myth, right? Because India is, let me talk about a couple of lines about the India. India is touching the, third largest economy very soon. Okay? And India is going to become third largest economy. Now, currently also we are 3 trillion USD economy. Our growth rate in the GDP last Q3, just 15 days ago only, we got the data from Government of India that with the GDP rate of 8.4, India has led the world, and where the world is going towards the recession, but India is leading with a GDP result of Q3 with 8.4. That's amazing statistics. But despite of this kind of growth, my dear friend, the academicians, my dear academic community, we are not able to attract the student from USA. We are not able to attract the students from Japan, Russia, and other developed countries. We are just getting the student from Nepal, Bhutan, and Sudan, Australia, and all, right? From the third world. But whether we are able to, one day, we will be able to, just like we are the pharma capital of the world, just like we are the, IT capital of the world, can we have, some healthy practices so that we could be the practices, and we could be the education capital of the world? Why, when we talk about the good universities, Harvard and Oxford are automatically coming in the everybody mind, but whether any Indian institutions are coming, no, that's a matter of serious concern. But it's not like that the we Indians are not doing good practices or good thing in the academic institution. The concern is what the marketing is missing. Concern is what the healthy practices are missing. Concern is what that we are not up to the mark with the IT institutes. If we talk about the IT institutes, the LMS comes first. So I'm not talking about the LMS solution provided by particular Zeltas or other company, but also there are number of LMS solutions available by Government of India itself. These days, sir, I'm talking with the participants of Malvi Mission Teacher Training Centers, which is run by all central universities. You will happy to know that I have been appointed as a resource person from more than 11 central universities. So there I am just giving training about the implementation of national education policy and ICT use in education. So there more than 30 number of different website has been made just for the benefit of school teachers, principal, administrators, to the higher education teachers, principals, directors, and vice chancellors. And you will happy to surprised to know that nobody knows about it. very few people knows about, okay, Swayam is there, one platform. Okay. That kind of story is there, right? Okay, somebody knows about NPTEL. We heard about NPTEL. Okay, if you ask the question, how many of you know that up to 40% of the syllabus can be delivered through MOOC? And MOOC doesn't mean only Swayam, only means doesn't mean only NPTEL. It means a lot. It means any MOOC courses, whether it's running by the private parties like Coursera and then Unacademy, or any other solution. But harsh
Yes.
reality is that awareness is very less. So in that way, the marketing exercises and collaboration with ICT tools, whatever the Zeltas and other people are providing, is very, very important. I think I have given the my opinion about what the concern raised. Over
Yeah.
to you, host. Thank you very much for this time.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Pankaj. Yeah, again for sharing your extensive expertise on the topic. I think the comprehensive explanation not only clarifies the subject matter, but also kind of offer practical insight for the audience, how they can apply in their own context as well. So thank you for sharing those inputs. Uh, I would want to quickly jump into Mr. Pushkar with our next question. So, Mr. Pushkar, uh, coming to market adoption, right? Like again, the topic what we were discussing. In your experience, what are the biggest challenges a trainer faces when transitioning their business online, right? And how an LMS can help address these challenges? So, if
Sure,
you could, your insights on that, yeah.
absolutely. So interesting question, and probably the first thing that comes to mind is when you're moving from a typical classroom training to an LMS based training, is that how do you maintain that attention span, or how do you maintain that interest level of your students or of the coaches or the learners that you have, right?
Exactly.
Takes me
Yeah.
back to my school days. So I don't know the age demographics of the audience today, but in my school days, when the teacher used to see that some of us are not paying attention, they could throw dusters or chalks at us and make us ensure that we are paying attention. But that doesn't happen today. Of course, the teacher would be expelled from the schools today. But anyway, so coming back to your question, so I think there are a couple of ways that they can ensure that they are maintaining the same level of engagement, and this could be done because LMSs nowadays, they have a lot of features built within them, like discussion boards, quizzes. Even
True.
I've worked with an LMS which they do a lot of gamification. So you keep an
True.
interest level ongoing for all your participants, all your courses, where there's a lot of interaction. I think interaction is the key. I mean,
True.
in a physical room versus an online platform, the moment you don't interact with your audience, that's when the interest levels start going down. So I think that's one key, and I think LMS features a lot of these technical uh, available. The features are available on our LMS to do this. Secondly, I think you know one of the key things I would want is personalization, right? So and I think that's an advantage an LMS has. So in a typical training situation, right, you can't get you won't have personal information about how everybody is doing at the same time. As a if you're my three students, I exactly wouldn't know how have you been doing on tests, how have you been doing on quizzes, what's your participation level. But I think an LMS can facilitate that, right?
Exactly.
So essentially, that becomes a very beneficial feature of an LMS. Apart from this, things that people need to keep in mind while moving to an LMS is the technical barriers, for instance, right? So
Yeah.
a lot of so some of the trainers I speak to are often very apprehensive, saying that I don't know anything about technology. I can't even write a Word document or make a PPT. So what do I do? But I think that's where the beauty of an LMS comes in, right? It facilitates, it helps you do everything together, right? So even from content creation to ensuring that your modules are posted in a proper manner where it's readable and acceptable to all your learners, and uh, you know making your tests easy, making your quizzes, in building the earlier things I spoke about, gamification, etc. So actually,
Correct.
I think it's a seamless transition because you don't want techie guys to come and do this for you. You're a trainer, you know your content well.
True.
So
True.
I think an LMS is that it bridges the gap between the tech and the delivery of your content.
Correct.
I think lastly, but not the least, I mean, I could go on about this for a long time, but when you're in a classroom setting or something, I think one thing you need to, and when you're transitioning into an LMS, I think one key thing you need to keep in mind is about the security of your data, right?
True.
Because today, if I send you a
Very true.
file and I have no control over it, right? If I'm handing out handouts to you or whatever, but
Yes.
again, the LMS then can probably come in here and the content is protected, so you can you can have a what do you call that, the watermark on your slide, etc., so that it's it's owned by you. So a lot of these features that come in, and these should be kept in mind while transitioning from a typical online based module to an LMS here. So yeah, I think overall these are the some of the challenges that learners can face, but I think that's where the solution comes in to make sure that the challenges don't remain so.
Yeah, I think that's a very valuable insight, like what you have given. I think that's one of the thing what we also try to do when we kind of started curating an LMS. Like, yeah, gamification was one of the primary thing what we were discussing, and then we implemented because that's a market challenge also, which we
Correct. You
understand.
need to keep things interesting, right? I mean,
Exactly. And then data privacy and like your data protection was also what primary importance to us then when we started discussing. So that's why we when we started curating our LMS, which is Android, right? Like so we started discussing on these things, the challenges what which the companies are facing, like the real world scenarios which is coming across. And then we started implementing solutions for that. That's how we came across like solutions which can cater to these kind of challenges which is there. Uh,
true.
Thank you for that insight, Mr. Pushkar. Just to like continue with that, like just one question which come in from one of our registered attendees. So, if you can give some of your thought process, like your thought ideas on that, like so, the question is like, can technology like ChatGPT or other technologies implementation will help? How it will help an LMS? So, if you have an idea on that, like if you can give some light.
I think AI overall, not only ChatGPT, is of tremendous help to all of us. And I say that with a pinch of salt because there's a myth around that AI is going to replace me, right? AI is
True.
never going to replace us. AI does what we tell them to do. So you need to have somebody to tell AI what needs to be done. Correct?
Exactly.
Even ChatGPT is not so progressed, or even Gemini is not so progressed that it's going to read your mind and do whatever you want. Right? So
Exactly.
that human intervention is really critical. So I'm just going to take a look at that question again. But can they help? Yes, they can help. Because often, and all of us are not born orators where we can just at the click of a finger we can't start writing content, etc. So
Very
what
true.
these AI tools will do is they can create a base for us. So if I have a thought in mind, and today if I tell ChatGPT or Gemini saying that I want to do a training on topics XYZ, give me 6 bullet points.
Hmm.
It's going to do exactly that. It's going to give you 6 bullet points.
Exactly.
But remember that your expertise on how you want to communicate and expand on those 6 bullet points is what will make the difference from a trainer A to a trainer B.
That
ChatGPT or any AI is not going to make that difference. So
true. True.
technology, AI will facilitate a lot of things. It will make a lot of things of your mundane tasks very automated and efficient. But your skill, your knowledge is what you have, and ChatGPT will help you get that out into the world. It won't replace your knowledge skill set. So I don't know if that answers the question, but those are my
Yeah,
views.
I think pretty much, yeah, like answers. We just wanted to know your input on that particular question. Like, yeah, so I think that's a very valuable input what you have given. I think it actually did answer what the question was for.
Sure.
Uh, thank you, Mr. Pushkar. I'll quickly move to Mr. Srinivas. Right, Srinivas, I would want to kind of like get into a topic of engagement strategies. So let's say like keeping online learners engaged throughout the course is crucial, right? Like, so you are an educator yourself. So can you share some practical tips and tool trainers can leverage with the LMS to boost the learner engagement?
Okay, thank you. I'll definitely give you some inputs. Basically, from an academic point of view, I hope that the majority of you accept the fact that faculty learned the concept of LMS only due to pandemic. So the plus point of the pandemic was that till that majority of us, I'm including sometimes myself, otherwise from 2009 onwards, I'm comfortable using different kinds of LMS. But still, I'm telling you, faculty were not able to. Lot of trainings we have given when I was a dean, director, etc. There's a time where we have given training to the faculty how they have to use the technology first. And that is 50%. And you know very well the gap between Gen X and versus Gen Y or Z, whatever we can call, depending upon the way we are addressing the classes. Oh, horrible. Because the students know better than us. They switch off their video, audio, and they will open only for the sake of attendance. So I think the attention of the student is a challenging one, as one of the speakers just now suggesting it. It was a very great challenge. But I'm telling you, even in a regular class, just now I finished my offline class from 9 to 1 and I came here. And then I have again second offline class at 2:30 to 4:30. In between, I'm there in the webinar. What I'm trying to say to you is the same challenges are there even in an offline class. But normally we don't see that as a challenge because we can see the students. We can see the students face to face in an offline class. Therefore, we don't find this a challenge. But you tell me as a professor, when the student is not engaged by you properly during the session, training session, we definitely feel inconvenience. So coming back to the strategies, I feel that one is, first of all, during the online classes, what we see using LMS, is your LMS is strong enough, first of all. Second one is strong enough with regards to the content what I'm talking. That's what one of the speakers also mentioning it. Content is the most important. If you are just using the content, whatever you have, definitely the tempo won't be there. The student won't be paying attention to it. So drawing the attention of a student or a trainee during a training session it won't happen if your content is not good. As the first point. Come to the second point. I think, shall I go for second point? Do we have time?
Sure. Please go ahead, sir. Yeah.
Okay. Let me check it also. Second important point is that how we are engaging them using some strategies, whatever you want. If you ask me, I will definitely raise quizzes. I will prepare the quiz and I will release the quiz during LMS session when it is happening. Even with the Zoom platform, when I am using it, I will release a quiz at a particular time whenever I want. So if you have a stock of those kind of quizzes, and that responses will be coming to them. Third one is that when we see the list of participants from the chart list, participation list, actually, we can ask a specific person, hi, Pushkar, can you tell me your experience on this? Then automatically, Pushkar, I'm just giving an example, Pushkar. Even though participants wants to shut down their audio video, is the time where they have to. That is another important point because I face more students and during my training sessions. So the moment we caution them, they will be coming back to them. Shall I go or shall I come back later? It's up to you. I have a couple of examples. Whenever you want, let me know.
Yeah. I think, very good point you made over there, Mr. Srinivas. So I think you have truly enriched the discussion with your expertise. So I believe you mentioned that you have been using different LMS from a very long time. Like you mentioned the fact that most of the educator might have started using a system because of the pandemic. And then your points over there made sense as well. I think you were exploring various facets of within your experience, and you were given us a holistic view as well that encouraged further exploration and reflection on the particular topic. So thank you for that, Mr. Srinivas. So moving forward, again, I would want to go back to Mr. Pankaj with topic on the technical consideration as well, right? Like, so this is one thing which we actually discussed before in this session regarding the data security and privacy. So security and data privacy are crucial concerns. We all know that. So can you elaborate on your security features typically offered by an LMS platform, and like how trainers can like ensure their courses and learner data are protected? So how organization like within a within your university, how would what are the measures probably you would take so that you can kind of do that data privacy and security like protected?
Okay, thank you very much. So, as you raise a valid concern regarding the data privacy and security, my dear friend, just wish to apprise you that this is the India, and here no policy work, no process work, only the moments work, right?
Yeah,
Um, आंदोलन चलाना होता है, आंदोलन का काम करता है हमारे देश में, राइट? आफ्टर हैविंग द अमृत काल उत्सव महोत्सव ऑफ 75 years of independence, prime minister needs to run swachhata abhiyan to make the toilets in the room. So that's the
true.
country what we are. More than 1600 different languages and dialects are there, different beliefs, cultures, and food style, habits, festivals are there. So we are the country of diversity. We don't have one policy or one process to be implemented. So many things are there. But despite of several efforts, if you talk about the concern regarding the security, cyber security, and security of the data, it's we are at the major risk, right? No concerns or not a valid solutions, valid process has been done. Still, after several numbers of call barring or blocking on the true callers, right, which has been shown in the red colors, you are getting daily. I believe everybody is getting. If your number is more than 10 years old, your mobile number is more than 10 years old, you are getting at least 10 to 15 calls every day from the spammers, ranging from the bank to other different kind of spammers for the loan selling, for the insurance and other things. So they are not the spammers; they are just a kind of telecallers for selling some products. That's they are the different. But also you are getting the calls from the different people. Like recently, I got a call from the courier company, some delivery, some name they have taken, and DHL or some name they have taken. That this call is regarded, and press one for further information. Your product has been cancelled, and then they have been threatening me that my parcel got exposed by the excise department, and they are going to shoot me the case. And likewise, that story you have also heard. I'm not reading that,
Correct, correct,
elaborating
yeah.
that story, right? So many that kind of things are coming. And once I was not getting fooled by him, and that person, the telecaller, he started abusing me. So after getting abused, I was upset and I called 112. I called, have raised the concern in cyber security department. And the consequence, what happened, the police officers come to my home, and now my neighbors are asking why the police has come to your home. So that kind of solutions the cyber security departments are providing. So how one can believe that even the schools and the universities are well versed and sufficient enough to protect their data? I personally believe there are lots of things to do with the security of the data, with the authenticity of the data is very much required. And personally, if we talk about my organizations, we are also relying on the server based or our own solution, own ERP based solutions for the ERPs and all. So we don't have that kind of cloud solution, to be honest to you, sir. And we are also looking for some solution which could not only help us in securing our data, but also we need a solution which can help us by implementing some artificial intelligence solutions, so that we could have some analytical information, behavioral analysis, feedback of the students, and many other things. Personally, I believe, okay, why the feedback has, just deviating from the topic, feedback
Yeah,
is very important. for the teaching and learning. And we, the administrator are taking the feedback maybe once or twice in a semester, not every time. And of course, we can take the feedback from the Google Docs and Google forms and all, but that is not a valid solution. As an institution, you should have your own LMS, and that LMS should have the feature of feedback. Feedback can be collected, but whether we have a time to analyze it, that's a question, right? So how rigorously we can do it by the analyzing the feedback from the student, not only for the teaching and learning, but also for their individual learning, their individual development in the various aspects, ranging from the behavioral pattern to the academic pattern, to the research acumen, to the entrepreneurship acumens and all, right? So that kind of solutions we are looking for. So I believe security, cyber security, and LMS, which has the imbibed solution for all this, will be well appreciated. But again, as I told, India is a country where the moments are required. So you all have to run a moment where you need to educate the educators. All right. So if you just a mythological thoughts, like hope you remember, once upon a time, Hanumanji was very much upset that Lord Rama has given the task to climb up upon this sea, and how I'll reach from the point 1 to point 2.
Yeah. Continues.
From Rameshwaram to then this Sri Lanka, I'll go there. He was very much upset. Then Jamwant came into the existence, and he suggests that Mr. Hanuman, you have a lots of capacity and you have a power to fly also, right? So,
Yeah.
your task is what? To tell all this Jamwant, that means the academic administrators and the professors like us, to remind our duty, so that we can empower the all youths as Hanuman to jump high in the sky and reach to the flying colors, right? तो जामवंत का काम हम लोग को करना चाहिए, लेकिन उन जामवंत को अपनी जिम्मेदारी निभाने का काम जो आप जेल्टस के माध्यम से कर रहे हैं, रियली अप्रिशिएट, जिससे सभी हनुमानों को हम लोग ताकतवर बना सकें. तो इन दैट वे आई बिलीव कि लॉट्स ऑफ वर्क आर टू बी नीडेड, not only in the education institution but also across the India, for the cyber security and security of the data and other threats. It is very important, my dear friend. Thank you for raising this wonderful question to me.
Yeah, certainly. I think that's again a very valuable input you've given. It is, I think it's paramount important for any organization who is dealing with an education or with a lot of data, like, yeah, to kind of secure the data privacy as well. That is one of the reason, like, yeah, we also kind of constantly work and like put a lot of effort towards making our system effective in terms of data privacy, and exactly the reason why we have built it on an AWS platform which protect data privacy through robust encryption. Like, we have access controls and compliance measures, and like monitoring through logging and like any logging functionalities as well. So again, yeah, thank you, Mr. Pankaj, for that
So,
valuable.
but thank you will not solve the purpose. I personally need a kind of detailed demonstration of the products and the services whatever you are offering, to
Certainly.
not only to, but also we could have some another session where a complete
Sure,
dedicated
sure.
session is required.
We can, we can, we can certainly. We can actually get into a product demonstration and like, yeah, discuss in detail about like, yeah, how we are trying to kind of address to those challenges, like, yeah, what we are discussing at this point. So we
Also,
can.
there should be, you should be ambitious, high. Let's have a big ambition, and even the solution is not only required by one or two institutions. This is the solution of. This is the problem of entire, country, entire higher education and the school education, right? The data is very, very important. But
Exactly.
again, what happens? There is a no data security, and also entire world is, having practical all data research or deep learning algorithm was done on our data only, right? Because India
True,
is a
true, true.
country, we have the privilege of cheapest internet in the world. I'll tell you the data: 6.7 rupees per GB data. If any country can provide, is the India, right? And we are lagging behind. We are, the Indians are good in consuming the internet also. You will surprised to know that 37% pollution has equipped with a smartphone, and 13.7 GB per month per user data is consumed by the Indians. So this data is ultimately used for the deep learning and other chat GPT kind of algorithms making by other countries, right? So people are using our data like free, and if you say, the Facebook is free, Instagram is free, nothing is free in the world. And if something is free, then you are the product, right? Right. So in that way, it's very important to learn your practices also. I
Yeah.
invite you, sir. Once upon a time, we could have that kind of discussions also.
Certainly, sir. Yeah, looking forward to that, like, yeah, very soon. Yeah, appreciate that. So considering the time as well, right? Like, so Mr. Pushkar, I'll quickly just to get some insights on you for one more topic from regard to this, like, the agenda for the day. So let's say a institution or like a company or like an educator want to choose an LMS, right? Like, so beyond features, what crucial factors should a trainer consider when selecting an LMS platform to ensure it aligns with their specific needs and like their budget?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I won't touch upon things that I've already discussed, like security and all that. I think those are not features; those are requirements. So let's not
Yes.
touch there. So I think a couple of things that come to my mind is, see, ultimately it boils down to what you're comfortable with, right? So you need to take a demo of the features. You need to, get your hands on or get your hands dirty or roll up your sleeves, whatever phrase suits you. But
Yeah.
essentially, you need to try out the system and see, if you're liking the interface, if you're liking how it's,
Correct.
responding to your commands, etc. So the ease of use is what I'm trying to get at, right?
Correct.
And that I think is crucial, because you will be spending quite a time on this system, and you need to ensure that you are comfortable using it. So that's one.
Yeah.
Secondly, if I look at it, then I think, because as a trainer or as an online trainer, you're trying to build your brand, right? You're trying to create some, your company, or you're trying to get out there, as we can say.
Yes.
So
Yes.
does your LMS allow you to customize, for instance?
Yeah.
So for instance, you have your company logo behind you. So will that, allow me to do my customizations while I'm talking? So I
Right.
think, because getting your brand out there becomes crucially important, and that's how organic growth is going to happen. Yes, there are paid marketings, and yeah, but not all of us want to do that or can afford that also.
Correct.
So I
Correct.
think brand building and, can that happen? I think one more thing I would like to touch upon is, in today's, we spoke about the question about AI earlier, so I'll kind of link that to it, is
Right.
about compatibility, right?
Yeah.
Is the LMS only an LMS standalone software? Or is it going to integrate with your Zoom, with your Google Calendar, with your,
Right.
I don't know, with your payment gateway, with your XYZ, the thousand other things that you can integrate with? So
True.
how open source is that LMS, and how is it going to benefit you? Because you don't want to get into a situation where you're being confined into a small little, it's like getting trapped into a room, and then you can't do anything. You have to, sustain there.
Correct.
Rather, and don't get me wrong, but I'll give you an example about an Apple versus an Android product, right?
Yes.
Initial days, Apple was very restrictive. Yes, wonderful product. All of us use it, including me. But Android was more open source, so people could experiment with it. Yes, security threats, etc., was different. But the point I'm making is the compatibility is one thing that you should look at. And of course, then I think lastly, but definitely not the least, is the support that you're getting. So we
True.
hear wonderful sales pitches, we hear lots of great things pre-sales, but
Yeah.
after sales, what happens? Do you have a dedicated support team? Is there a relationship manager that they assign to you? And that's something that they'll typically tell you before that, that there will be an
True.
RM, or there is
Correct.
a 24/7. So I'm not expecting a human being to be available always, but at least, what is the response time on emails? So you need to look at that, because when you're stuck with something, right, and you need help, you better get
Correct.
it.
True. Very true.
Otherwise, it all goes away. So yeah, so
Exactly.
I think those are a couple of crucial things that, of course, You covered it. Then you read your normal, like anything that we do nowadays, you Google it. So, and of course the costing which you covered. I mean, even if it's a great and fantastic tool, if I can't afford it, I can't afford it. As simple as that. Yeah.
I think that's a very crucial point actually. Like price is sensitive factor whenever you're buying any solution within your
Correct.
organization. Like, so even for a new educator, the like you mentioned in your like you mentioned before as well. Like so one of the major important thing would be like branding. So how crucial can from a branding perspective, like how how can they brand themselves?
Correct.
Procuring an LMS, right? Like so
Yes.
if possible. Of course, price being a very major factor. Apart from that, all your generic features and everything is something which should come along, uh,
Absolutely.
yeah, with a system. So that is something you should not think about. So that generic features should be there, and
Yeah.
your data privacy and everything should be there, which is paramount important. But apart from
Correct.
that, like so the branding, your price, everything fits. Yeah, so that's when you can go ahead and like procure that.
Sure.
I think yeah, great insight. We are short of time, so I have one last question to Mr. Srinivas, like before we end today's uh, session as well. I just wanted to ask in terms of again, like regards to this, like the monetizing strategies as well, right? So with various online courses, and delivery models available, so it could be subscription based, one-time fees, etc. Right? So what are some effective strategies a trainer or like a new training company who wants to go online, right? Like so they can utilize to monetize their online course through or like with the help of an LMS. So if you can give your inputs on that, Mr. Srinivas.
Definitely. Basically, when I see different institutions, different LMS models that they were using, and then I definitely work for the way one of the institutions where I work earlier connected with LinkedIn. LinkedIn
Yeah.
connected with LinkedIn Learning. And
Okay.
definitely it is a paid service, but at the same time, the total benefit was being given to students. And the next one is that the issue actually is that after getting the paid service as a part of the total package, the student will get actually
Uh, I think Mr.
We
Srinivas.
lost him,
Sound
right?
is missing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Let's have a long life. We have not lost him. Only the internet connectivity has lost, right? All right. So, you want to have any other questions? I can
Yeah, yeah.
supplement him.
With
Can you
regards to
come back with the question again? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So in case if you can give some inputs on that, Mr. Pankaj. So like yeah, coming back to the same question again, right? Like, so let's say monetization strategy is what we are talking about. So any trainer or any new e-learning
yeah,
company or it's an university also like yours wants to like get into an online training program, like yeah, deliver online courses. What are some effective strategies they can use to utilize to monetize the online course through LMS platforms?
So I think you're talking about the content authoring, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. The
Content
content.
authoring.
Yeah.
So it's you have touched me somewhere, and that's why I have intervened. This is my kind of a dream project for me. Like
Okay.
I am dreaming about that. Why can't be at least 10 number of faculty member from my institution could create one course, and that course could be sellable just like in the platform like Coursera, App Academy, Unacademy, and other platforms, whatever you are also suggesting. So it's a
Okay.
kind of dream project for me. And if you can provide some kind of solutions, I shall be more than happy and obliged on this line. But again, uh, it should be the dream for not only my institution as a senior administrator of the university. I personally believe that if entire India, we have more than 1100 universities. So suppose only one course from one university can be monetized or can be, available in the Swayam
Yes.
or in the other platforms or the commercial platforms like Coursera. So our faculty will not only get benefited, but they will also get exposure for the various good thing, right? I believe this exposure is till now when the Swayam is there with the professor of IITs and NITs only. But that's not the scenario that only IITs and NITs has a good professor. We have the galaxy of good academicians and the good teachers in India. And it's not today's scenario. We have the Indian knowledge system where we can see that ranging from Aryabhatta to Chanakya, then the story of Taksila and Nalanda, everybody knows. So we have, uh, ample number of faculty members having great knowledge, but they are not getting any opportunities, right? So I
Yeah.
believe that kind of opportunity can be given to any faculty members, and there should be again a kind of moment required, again kind of encouragement required, and again kind of policy decisions, policy issues are there with the institution, that what will be the perk, what will be the benefit to the faculty members. Just like writing a book, you are getting some royalties, some copyrights, similarly we could have think on this line also. But again, I should be very happy. We are planning it, but to be honest to you, we are not able to implement it at our institution. But again, encouragement to the faculty members are always there for this kind of solution, right?
Okay. Okay. I think, yeah, thank you for like, yeah, giving in your inputs on that particular topic again, Mr. Pankaj. So yeah, considering the time, like, yeah, we're coming close to our session as well. So as our webinar goes to the end, like the close, I want to again like uh, to kind of extend my heartful thanks to all our esteemed panelists, Mr. Pushkar, Mr. Dr. Pankaj, and Dr. Srinivas Rao, for sharing your invaluable insights and like your expertise with us today. Your contribution was truly enriched, and like our discussion on leveraging LMS to expand and like elevate the training business was very insightful again. To our audience, I hope you found today's session informative and inspiring. Like transitioning
Absolutely.
training business online and scaling it with an LMS might seem daunting, but as our panelists have illustrated, it's a journey filled with opportunities, of course, for growth and success. Remember, whatever you are facing, the challenges, right, like the market adoption, or regarding the content creation, data privacy, everything we spoke about today, reaching to the new learners or fostering engagement, the key lies in leveraging the right strategies and tools offered from by an LMS platform. Uh, so thank you once again, everyone, for joining in. Wishing you all best for like a rest of the day, and take care and goodbye. We will definitely meet up in another insightful session like this soon.
Thank you.
Thank you all our panelists, Mr. Pankaj,
Yeah.
Mr. Like, yeah, Dr. Srinivas. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Thank
everyone.
you.
I have
Bye-bye.
one. I have one.
Yeah,
Sorry, I have one
yeah, yeah.
query.
Please go ahead, Mr.
Uh,
Pankaj.
yeah, right. Still, we have another 4 minutes to go. All
Yes.
right. So, in my watch, it is no, we are close to 2 o'clock. But in couple of minutes, can you share something about the Zelters? I'm really excited and curious about it. That what is
Sure.
this company? What kind of products and services you are offering? And also, where are you are based? And also, you're every time you're inviting Singapore and writing Singapore time also. So, what is the connection with the Singapore? And
Yeah.
I
So
believe that this question, when I'm asking, your management will be happy to see that this question is
sure, sure,
asking,
sure.
asked by a moderator. And it is not scripted, but I'm really having lots of curiosity on it because I have been
Sure,
joining you
sure,
thrice in this panel. So every
sure.
time you skip me, but if you can allow, if you can share something in a couple of minutes, right?
Yeah, sure, certainly, certainly, sir. So I'll keep
Over
it
to you.
quick. Like, so basically, Exaltius started off as a training company. So we started, so our base is Singapore. We are based in Singapore. We are, so we have offices in different places, and now we have stationed in India. We have we have expanded to Middle East also. We have our expansion in like other Asian region like Philippines and like Indonesia and so we started off as a education company, an e-learning company where we were curating courses which were on Web3 technology. Like, yeah, so we have data science program, for example, cybersecurity courses, which we curate, and we were catering to people who are already working professionals, right? And the thought about LMS, right? Like, so we were talking about LMS today. So that came in when we started ourselves as a learning or like an e-learning company. And that is when we started facing challenges to deliver our courses to our students. And then we did not have a solution which could help us to do that without so let's say we came across multiple challenges, few of them which we address today. So we had challenges like, yeah, how do we curate our content? How do we track progression of a student? So these kind of challenges keep recurring, and then that's when we started thinking on the lines that we wanted to create an ecosystem of learning rather than the courses itself. We wanted to create that entire ecosystem where we have a solution also, where we can where we can kind of deliver our courses. And that's when we came across, like, we come up with a solution called as Adroid. So that is our learning management solution, which is called as Adroid. Now that is an AI powered solution, so it has a lot of AI features as well, like how Mr. Pushkar mentioned that, yeah, of course it has a lot of, it definitely have all that generic features like your course creation, content creation, class scheduling, monitoring your users, be it a trainer, students. Plus, it also comes with a lot of AI features. Now, when I talk about AI features, it comes with features like, yeah, uh, your adaptive learning assessment is done. Like, yeah, so your adaptive you can create your quizzes as per the requirement of the student. You can actually do a lot of things wherein pre-learning engagement tracking is done. So your courses, let's say you are doing curating a course, you can still go ahead with the help of AI. You can suggest your learners to come up with a lot other content available on the open source platform on the internet, which can be useful for them before they are doing the course. So that can be done. So there are multiple AI features along which we kind of incorporated with the system. So now, if you talk about Exaltius, Exaltius is a firm which is an edutech company. We are trying to build the entire ecosystem of e-learning, be it the courses what we are offering. We do offer MBA programs, DBA programs as well. But then, yeah, we are also creating a solution which can actually help in our students, or like, yeah, any company who is looking to procure a learning management solution to kind of help their journey, yeah, or like make their journey seamless as well. So that is, in a brief nutshell, that is what Exaltius is doing at this point. But definitely, yeah, like
So, if I can summarize that, Zaltius is a kind of a big mall, right? Having lots of solutions, lots of products are there, right? And then the good thing, good news is that they're working with the higher education systems, right?
correct,
So
correct.
it's really great to see that many good things are doing by the Zaltas and Androids in terms of many other products. In future, if you want some kind of content curators, content authoring at the local university, I am welcoming you, and I am
Okay.
also available for taking another things. Also, one request from the India, that's from the MHRD, Ministry of Human Resource and Development department. And recently, I was having a meeting with the MHRD senior officers, right? And they were still wondering kind of solutions for the implementation of National Education Policy 2020. All right. So
Okay.
there, what happened? Lots of things are there, and it's now National Education Policy has already been implemented and rolled out. But again, it's a kind of dream document. No kind of such kind of implementation processes are there. So if you are able to together work together and create some kind of courses on implementation of National Education Policy, or in the processes of accreditations, and affiliations. Many rankings are there, ranging from Atal Innovation Ranking, then NIRF, then NAC processes are there, and the accreditation processes are there. So if you can create that kind of courses, it will be really a kind of asset for any academic organizations and across India, right? So being Indian,
True.
from the higher education side, I appreciate the efforts, while having the request for taking the thought on this line. Do this, have a kind of discussion with your senior management, that one
Sure.
professor, one vice chancellor is giving this kind of input. So this can be taken forward, and soon we will do a great thing. With this
Certainly.
note, thank you very much for inviting me, and
Certainly,
over to you,
certainly,
dear.
Mr. Pankaj. Yeah, I'll connect with you and we'll discuss on this further. But yeah, thank
Sure.
you so much for joining in today. Thank you, Mr. Srinivas, again for joining in. Appreciate your valuable inputs again. Like, yeah, you guys have a nice day ahead.
Thank
Hope
you.
to talk to you guys soon again. Yeah. And thank you everyone who has joined in today as well.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Thank you again.